Welcome to the David Goad Show. I am David Goad, of course, and today we're talking about online meetings because the world's gone crazy. Everyone's been told to vacate your office and just work from home. And of course, not everyone has been in the online meeting culture like I have and many others for the last 15 years or so. And it may be a new thing. So today I want to talk to the people who are running the meetings. That's you. Are you the manager, the head of the team, the key decision maker, the one who's called the meeting? Here's my advice for you. And it's two things. The team is not necessarily going to like this. In fact, some of them are going to hate it at first, but there's a method to the madness. Here's the first rule. Are you ready? When you schedule your meeting, you say, cameras on. It's mandatory. Everybody needs to turn on their video camera. There is no excuse now. Everyone has one on their laptop, their phone, an external USB camera. It's fast, cheap, and easy to do it. Everyone has a camera. If somebody has turned their camera off and you're looking across the Brady Bunch, all the little pictures of the people in the meeting, and someone has their camera off, I guarantee you they are multitasking. That's right. Now they'll tell you some excuse like, oh, I just got back from the gym and I didn't take a shower, or I just, I can't get my camera to work. I got this dual monitor setup thing. No, figure it out, folks. Because when you have your camera on, it gives you a lot more information that's missing in just an audio call. Don't you remember the days when we had just these phone conference calls and all the craziness? Who's speaking right now? People trying to talk over each other. When the video cameras are on, it's the next best thing to being in a room together. And you get all the body language, the facial expressions, the people. You can tell when someone is not quite happy with the idea and they fidget in their chair a little bit, or they look the other way, or they're trying to even raise their hand to ask a question, right? You can see people are smiling or upset or falling asleep. It's valuable information. So not only do you want to come across as a more impactful presenter, you want to be able to read, you want to have feedback, you want to have eye interaction with the crowd. You're not giving a lecture. So that's rule number one. Mandatory cameras on. It kind of leads to rule number two. Everybody speaks. Very early on in the meeting, you want to make everyone say something. And people aren't going to like that, especially the people who are hiding out with their cameras off, multitasking, petting their dog, doing something else while they're supposed to be in the meeting. And the reason for that is that if people don't feel like they might be called on, it's like when you were in elementary school, right? If the teacher calls your name or calls somebody early in the class, you think you might be called next. And it raises the awareness and that feeling that maybe I'll be called on next. So it gets everybody's attention. And one of the cool ways to do it is in that very first part of the meeting, where people are still kind of logging in and showing up and, kind of trickling in. It's usually a 2 to 4 minute period before everyone's logged in. So use that valuable time to do some kind of meaningful banter. And I mean, asking people, hey, let's just go around down the list and tell us what your role is. Or let's go down the list and just give me a real quick on what's your interest in this meeting today and what would be a big success for you. Or you could do something playful like, hey, where are you from? If it's a big group, just type in the city that you're logging in from. But I like to have meaningful banter at the beginning of the meeting because it not only gives you a sense of who's there, but it sets a tone for conversation, right? They feel like, hey, I do have a voice. This person wants to hear it. And you'll get better brainstorming and problem solving later in the meeting if you do that. So very, very early on, it all depends on the size of the meeting, how many people you have, how much time you have. It's very situational, but try to get as many people talking as you can in the early part of the meeting. So those are two things that people are going to hate at first. Turning their cameras on and having to speak. But isn't that what you would want if you were in a room together? People actually looking at you, talking to you, solving the problem. In fact, it may bring enough focus and energy to solve the problem early and send them home with a little bit of time left. So that's the David Goad Show today. And I want to know if you agree with me or not. And if you have any great tricks or even a little script that you use at the beginning of a meeting or ways that you get people engaged in your meetings that you host. And if you think it's necessary, unnecessary to have your camera on. I think it's essential. So if you want to convince me otherwise, I'd love to hear why it's not good to turn your camera on in an online meeting. That's the David Goad Show today. Thank you so much for listening. Hunker down, folks. Hang in there. We're all going to get through this together. And I cannot wait to see the rebound that happens after this virus is gone. So you have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.